I know that there are those who disagree with the overwhelming scientific evidence.
You had a case in the other district court on the East Coast. What happened to your case? Where did that go?
It was dismissed in the Third Circuit, and I also had won the D.C. Court of Appeals. This is the first argument in any Court of Appeals in the country, so there's some hope for us that the courts will do something about it, but I have the reservations because they're raising questions here that these particular lawsuits were not filed until after Obama was sworn in.
Do you think that would be fatal?
I'm not sure. I don't think it should be fatal because I think the issue has to be resolved. My case, which were dismissed, one of them was actually filed before he was even nominated. That was the first case I filed, and that's what the judge said. I particularly didn't have standing. But I think these individuals do have standing, and I think that the court should rule on this, and they should send it back to trial court because it's an ongoing issue. Even right now, I mean, I don't believe Obama is natural born. I don't believe he is able to sit as president. Therefore, I don't think impeachment works. The document I think handed you a press release I have that I put out is even if the press release, even if the birth certificate is valid, which I have my questions about that. The real issue is what happened to him after his parents divorced and he was adopted in Indonesia. As far as I'm concerned, when he was adopted in Indonesia, it changed his status and he's no longer natural born. He very possibly is naturalized, but I don't even think that. And one of the lawsuits I had, and we're going to be following again, is I claim he's not natural born, he's not naturalized, and that therefore his term as a United States Senator from Illinois was improper, and salary and benefits should be returned to the U.S. Treasury. I compare it to Medicaid or Medicare fraud. Obviously, if he can't be a senator, he can't be president.
Should Gary Kreep have said the word fraud here? Should he have said fraud on this case?
I'm not sure you need the word fraud in here. I mean, the fact is that I think there's a possibility of fraud on just what Obama introduced last week when he put out this birth certificate.
It's proved to be a fake.
On the surface, it appears there's a lot of questions about it, but I think that you have to look back to the history of this case. And on my website, which is obamacrimes.com, we have, and it was arranged through my office with two ministers and Obama's step grandmother, Soetero Obama. She states in Swahili that she was present in the hospital in Mombasa, Kenya, when Obama was born August 4, 1961.
In Mombasa, Kenya he was born. She states that.
She states that.
And you can't get that on the record anyway. No court will let you get that on the record.
We need discovery. And at the very end of that conversation, some people say, well, some kids in the background yell, no, she's born in Hawaii. Yeah, the kids were trying to say Hawaii. But she said she was there in the hospital. That's pretty hard to overcome, that kind of evidence. And we have other evidence.
Did Orly TAITZ make a good argument here?
I think that Gary made a better argument. Because Orly's...
But the judges didn't interrupt Orly. They listened to her without any single question.
Well, who knows why, and look, but she's raising issues which I don't think, well, we don't go into some of the issues she goes into.
What do you say? She says you're harassing her.
I'm not harassing her. I am suing her, and I hope to get a large verdict against her for whatever.
Why sue her? You guys are on the same team. You're both trying to...
We're not on the same team. If you look at what Orly TAITZ has done in the past 2 years, she's done everything in my belief to hurt this entire movement. She decided in about January of 2009. I met her only in December of 2008 at the National Press Club, Washington, D.C. She asked me to do something with her, and I didn't like her style, so I said no. So she decided in January 2009 that she was going to take me down, and she was going to take me down through my paralegal. And since that time, she has violated California law time and time again by publishing the Social Security number of Lisa that has a volunteer that worked for me. And that this California statute provides that every time you give out someone's Social Security number, you can be fined up to $3,000. But we're going after Orly TAITZ for $3,000 over 1 million times that she has continued to do this, and she's been disruptive. I mean, why bring me down? I've had the clearest cases out there, even though the courts have disagreed. I had 3 different lawsuits pending. I also took 4 requests for injunctions to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Okay,
so why bring me down?
Well, I understand what you're saying. My question here is, you both want to prove that Obama is not the legal, lawful president because there was fraud in the inception, because he isn't a natural-born citizen. Wouldn't it be better to stop suing each other and concentrate on Obama?
Sure, but I don't think, if you look at what she has done in the past 2.5 years.
But she just got into the appellate court of the 9th District. You didn't get this far.
Okay, but great.
And Gary Kreep wouldn't have got this car had she not already filed a brief. He admitted today. He only came on September 8th of 2009. Orly had already filed a brief. And he said in 2009, I was there in the courtroom. He said, I just came back from Hawaii. I'm late getting on this case. I'm sorry I'm late for court. I'm not ready. I need another month. And in that month, Judge David Carter did a 180 from we're going to have a decision by a federal jury on the merits. He flipped by October after Sidroth Villamar, who used to work apparently for the opposition firm, suddenly became David O'Carter's law clerk. And she's the only one that raised that. There's a huge issue here of conflict of interest, and I didn't see Gary Kreep raise that.
Well, you'd have to ask Gary what he did.
Well, I'm going to give him his chance.
But because I'm here supporting Gary and his position that this case be sent back to lower court for trial.
By who?
For trial by Judge Carter.
But can you trust Judge Carter after he did a 180, hired a law clerk who used to work for the firm that was representing Obama and the U.S. government? How can you trust that? A judge who just took, isn't that a conflict of interest?
Well, you know, there's a lot of people who work for different people get hired.
But I mean, out of all the judges they could have gone, this clerk went from that law firm to Judge O'Carter's courtroom. I mean, and then Carter does a 180. Doesn't that strike you as something wrong here?
Well, it can be looked into. I mean, but the basic facts are here are, as far as I'm concerned, Obama never had the qualifications to be president. He's not natural born, even if this birth certificate is valid, which I don't think it is, because the overwhelming evidence is he was born in Kenya. His step-grandmother and other people over there. And in addition to that, more important is the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, he was adopted. His name's Barry Soetero. If he hasn't legally changed his name, now you can use an alias, but not for fraudulent purposes, which is what he's done every time he signs his name for running for president. But I believe that's what's controlling. I believe for me to be satisfied, I would have to, assuming this birth certificate is valid, which I don't think it is, I would have to see Obama releasing all his records and also releasing all his records regarding his adoption. Now, the reason I say...
Including Columbia University.
Oh, everything. All his records. The reason I believe that Columbia University and Harvard and even Occidental records are sealed, they will show that he applied for and received foreign aid, either from Kenya or Indonesia. This whole thing, Congress, you know, whereas the judges here mentioned, or the Department of Justice attorney mentioned, well, Congress should do this and everything else. Congress isn't doing anything because Congress, they're in bed with each other. People say, how come Hillary Clinton didn't raise it? Well, maybe she had the information, but maybe Obama has more stuff on Hillary Clinton. I mean, I don't know what the situation is, but I know I'm doing this for the 308 million people in this country who deserve to know the truth. I'm doing this for our forefathers.
You haven't joined Kreep as an attorney of record on this case, have you?
Well, he would have joined me in this case, because this is his case. I'm here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the two of you are not joined on the case.
Well,
co-counsel yet, are you?
No, not yet.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. BERG. Glad to meet you.
Thank you.
Finally. Don't take anything I say personal.
I do not.
I'm just asking questions for we the people, because I think we the people have a right to know.
And under the 10th Amendment, I think that everything, we the people, therefore we have the right to question for standing. I think everyone in this country has the right for standing, not as the court decided in my case. Judge stated in my case, in which the Third Circuit affirmed, that perhaps in the future Congress should decide who would have standing to sue under the Constitution. That's absurd.
Okay, thank you very much.
But. But